she started to have negative effects with it, okay? The reason why her lymphedema started to act up was because of what she was being. When Wendy was falling over the chair and calling out to her mom, even after her mom had died, she was being.
There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now. So,
as the mother of a now 16-year-old,
who I met backstage,
he did.
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You represent a lot.
Joe Rogan has allegedly just dropped a bombshell on how Diddy is involved in what happened to Wendy Williams and how she has completely vanished from the public spotlight over the last few months. Why did nobody notice how she'd been acting?
So she could celebrate with her father and the rest of her family.
So we are doing a documentary on this.
P. Diddy puts on that wild party and, he sets everybody up. Like if you were an intelligence agent, like a Jeffrey Epstein type deal, that'd be the way to do it. Big old crazy party, get everybody loose.
And get the cameras
Get them
rolling.
the yayo. Get them the yayo.
And everything else.
Get them everything you need. Get fired up. Get those cameras rolling. And now you got everybody under wraps.
Just to find out if I'm crazy. Oh my God, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to sit down again. I have no money. And I'm gonna tell you something. If it happens to me, it could happen to you.
We know Wendy has been under insane financial strain in recent times, with people seizing her money and bank accounts under the pretense that she is mentally unstable. But Joe Rogan is now alleging that Diddy might have something to do with what is being done to her. Wendy has been under a court-ordered guardianship since 2022. Her guardian, Sabrina Morsey, said the original FTD, an aphasia diagnosis, was the reason Wendy couldn't fully control her personal life or her money. That diagnosis came after hospital stays and worries about her memory, and everyone believed the condition was permanent. But throughout all of this, Wendy kept saying she was still fully aware, and everybody ignored her intentionally.
But she obviously was drinking a lot, okay? What happens next is that Wells Fargo, which didn't know banks could do this, essentially just said, we're going to freeze all of your bank accounts and petition the court for you to have a temporary financial guardianship. And that happened, okay? They just stopped her being able to have access to her money. They said that it was to protect Wendy Williams' finances, and that's the reason that they did it. Suddenly she gets somebody else that becomes her guardian. Like Wells Fargo is somehow able to secure a guardian over her. This woman, who just looks like a villain, is now suddenly in control of her life. She doesn't know this woman. She has no relationship with her. She wasn't her financial advisor, but now she is totally in control of Wendy Williams' life. And so she appeared on Breakfast Club with her niece Alex, and she spoke about what was going on. And here is what Wendy and her niece Alex had to say about it.
I am not cognitively impaired, you know what I'm saying? No, but I feel like I am in prison. You understand what I'm saying?
This is her room. That's literally her apartment. But the thing about this apartment, and you know this, not Wendy, because you're there, it's small. She has a bed, a chair, a TV, a bathroom, and she's looking out one window. A building's across the street.
So now Wendy Williams is essentially calling on friends to speak out because she can't do anything. Like again, this is the most terrifying thing. I don't even know how this is allowed legally. This should obviously be abolished unless she is physically harming someone.
The entire scheme against her has people absolutely outraged because now new tests show Wendy never had FTD. Then the entire foundation of the guardianship comes into question. Was she placed under strict control without solid medical proof? Was someone trying to silence her? It certainly seems like Wendy made a lot of enemies throughout her career. And one of those enemies in particular did not want her exposed.
People don't understand about Puff is this. He held the entertainment grip, especially for the people who was his former artists, in a chokehold. If you didn't do what he say do, if he didn't like you, you would never ever work for Bad Boy or anybody in the entertainment business again. He did it to Kirk Burrows. You understand? He did it to Wendy Williams. He did it to a lot of people, bruh.
Wendy Williams has been calling out Diddy's behavior for years, even when it put her own career at risk. She didn't know everything that was going on behind the scenes, but she definitely heard the whispers. People in the industry would tell her things, and she built her own picture of who Diddy really was. Sometimes that picture slipped into her radio show. People know Wendy Williams has been exposing Puff and others for their foul play since her radio days. In fact, there's a story that Diddy once told Total, the girl group he signed, to jump Wendy because she talked about him on air. That sounds wild, but Wendy herself told this story.
There was an incident a few months before that, and they just had put him outside and everything. About a month and a half before that. Yeah.
I remember I got off the air one day and them the Total downstairs waiting, and everybody upstairs at the radio station is looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down. I wasn't yet married. My knight in shining armor screeched up in his car just out of nowhere. I didn't even know what was about to happen. Skell hiding like a girl. Thanks, Skell. I'm standing in the door like, what? And I'm literally about to go through. Now, I'm not like, what, let's fight, because I'm not one of those type of broads. And plus, there was 3 of them. Out of nowhere. This is like I think we were first starting to date. We were brand new into it. You know, there were little signs. You know how little signs kick in that certain people are meant to be in your life and stuff. There were a lot of those that happened before, we actually sealed the deal. And that was like one of them. Like, God only knows what would have happened if I got out on the sidewalk and everything like that. Papers going flying, Skell cowering. The little Chinese man that drove the van, they were coming. There was no security or anything. It was just them 3 fighting broads. And me. And my coworkers that shot standing upstairs trying to look down to see it all jump off. They all knew. When I said goodnight to everybody, everybody's pressed up against the window. I didn't even walk or bother asking, what are you all looking for? Because when the clock strikes, it's time to go. It is time to go. Nobody rushes out of a place faster than me.
And ain't nobody put you on?
No! That's what I'm saying. Nobody put me on. They're all pressed up against the window, looking down, knowing what the hell was about to happen. I didn't get a chance to hit the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? Before I knew it, out of nowhere, nobody called. It's not even like he knew. It was just like weird. Almost like karma. One of those, another sign to say that this is the one for me. I guess, kind of, sort of. Next thing I know, he's out of the car and there's a whole bunch of rah-rah going on outside, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
It was also during this time that Wendy was saying and revealing things that Diddy didn't exactly like. For example, during the East Coast-West Coast feud, she even ended up with a photo of Diddy's baby being held by Suge Knight, something Bad Boy absolutely did not want to get.
Suge Knight. Is it true that Suge Knight took a picture with Misa and Puffy's son Justin, and Puffy found out about the picture and he went crazy? Take me through that, man. How did that come about?
One of those trips, she may have been hired by someone relatable to Death Row, or maybe by Death Row Exact. I don't know. But the check was right, and she took the check. And she went to the West Coast to do the job. Baby Justin was with her. Somehow she was called to that office. I guess to see the artist or the talent, to meet the people that were cutting the check. And it ended up being Suge Knight. And she was treated very well. I mean, they laid out for her, like, a welcoming mat and all of that. And so well that it got back to the East, that she was there in the office and that Suge was meeting Justin Combs and possibly holding him in his arms, and that there was a photographer taking a picture, and that wasn't the picture that we needed to see on our end or that we wanted the world to see at all. So I remember that day extensively. It hit us like, a rocket launcher or something. It hit us hard. I remember getting off the phone. It was almost damn near a half a day, maybe 2, 3 o'clock, and maybe in the afternoon, Wendy Day was promoing, announcing something big was going to happen. Wendy Williams was announcing in her super highly rated afternoon show that might have been even syndicated then, that she had big news coming that involved Justin Dior Combs. Perked my ear up. I said, yo, what's going on? We started calling everybody. He was calling me. He got a heads up. He started calling the bosses at Hot 97. The street team was listening. They heard, the executives heard. We instantly all left the office, 19th Street, some in cabs, some in cars, some running all the way down to Hudson Street where Hot 97 was to get down there just to handle the situation and make sure that that picture was not exposed to the masses and was not delivered through Wendy Williams. In all of that fricka-fracas, if you look back, history would tell you that she was let go from Hot 97 over that and had to go to another city to operate out of. And I think she remembers that in the way she should remember, as something that happened that ran her out of town. And then she was able to come back and be the Wendy Williams that she is now today with all the success that she's had. But that was a snafu that day with us and with my godson in that picture, that image. On the chessboard, it didn't look right on any level. Common level, behind the curtain, and high principalities and kingdoms level, it didn't look good.
Crazy, man. So that's the reason why she got fired from Hot 97, because of that picture of Suge Knight and Misa.
They fired her. I think that situation led to her being fired. Pressure from old boy in regard to that.
What was in the picture? Because for some reason, he never went into detail about that.
We were in Cancun, and we were on our way to the Island of Women. You understand? And this is all it was, bro. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull us down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay, something like that. And she was gonna put it out. So they stopped her from putting it out.
And they got her fired from Hot 97 because of that.
Well, I think that we were in California at the time, and Puff was a layout for either Rolling Stones or what's the other magazine? Rolling Stones, it begins with a B. Billboard, right, thank you. He was shooting layout for either Rolling Stone or Billboard when he had the white suit on. I was the one who put him in the damn pool. What happened is that Wendy had somehow shown people that email. You hear me? She's shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her, you understand, before he got back in New York, that they was not gonna get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was gonna boycott their